that tolerated, or?
I
mean, it's a patriarchal society, so whatever men do is tolerated.
Fuck yeah.
what a wonder! I'm converting.
You're gonna show up at your city council meeting just in full gear.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
sure
I
his
had.
hot, educated wife just does whatever he says.
That's right. I snap my fingers, and
Yeah,
she says, "How high?"
absolutely.
That's funny because I had
Fucking shit.
I had a Hindu in for an estimate today, and his name was Ali Mahmood, and I was like, "Man, that's a bad name to have right now, bro."
Wait, he said his name. He said he's Hindu. I don't think so.
No, for Ali.
So I can't tell the difference between Hindi and Arabic because he had it hanging off his rear mirror.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good. That's the best I've heard today.
And I'm not even joking. The very next woman that came in had a sweatshirt on that said, "Let's go, Brandon." I'm like, why couldn't have they been here at the same time?
Oh no! Oh, that's awesome. No, Ali Mahmood is.
It sounds super
Muslim.
Arabic.
Yeah, it's definitely Muslim.
Yeah.
Some form of Islam, either the Shia or the Sunni.
As long as it's not Wahhabism.
But in Hinduism, technically, no, the polygamy doesn't exist. But then again, it's most of the sects are patriarchal, so it doesn't matter.
Now, I do know in Islam you can have up to 4 wives if you love them equally.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, in Islam, if you say divorce, yeah, just 3 times. All you have to say divorce 3 times, one after the other in the same breath. You have divorced the woman. That's it. You don't need to do anything more.
Saves a fortune in legal fees.
Oh yeah, you're done. Get out.
Or you summon Beetlejuice, one of the two.
I was so disturbed when Beetlejuice came out because I had a big crush on Michael Keaton. And he was really gross in that.
That didn't reinforce it?
You could be like Bogart and go to the actual live musical or whatever and get some handies going.
I was gonna say for a free handy and a boob grab, I would have taken her out there.
So X, if Slip suggests you go to Beetlejuice, you and your wife, then
yeah, you and your wife.
Yeah, now I know what that means.
That's code for sure. Yeah. That is letting you know.
Let's get a big tub of popcorn and put a hole in the bottom.
She has nothing for snacks except pineapple.
Extra butter.
Yeah.
Extra butter.
Pineapple.
See, you're getting it. You're getting it.
You guys are corrupting me.
It's inevitable in this place. Corruption. It's just...
We keep failing our fortitude rolls or whatever in Imperium.
You see a demon. Fortitude roll. Yes, I failed. I wish the demon was inside of me. The demon was...
It is. For at least a couple of you.
What was the encounter in the Witcher game? Where you just kept running away and running back?
Oh yeah.
Hounds.
Yet hounds.
Oh yeah.
We will never talk of this encounter again.
You made no such pledge.
Some people call it being corrupted. I call it being liberated.
You're on the right ship.
Yep. That's very Slanishi of you to say it.
Apparently, my son was at school today, and he said, "Oh, I found someone at school today who'd never heard of Warhammer 40k." So I was telling him all. I was telling him all about it, and I went, "All about it?" And he went, "Oh, all about it."
You get a letter.
Your son shouldn't talk about Slanishi. I don't know what it is, but
I don't think he knew. I don't think he knows that bit. yeah, he's dependent on the memes he's seen over my shoulder. So it's
Yeah.
We just
Might
have
wanna
to
leave
get
that
some
one out of it.
Slanesh memes over your shoulder then.
oh no.
You just got to make sure that the Slaneshi Daemonette is grabbing your junk with the right arm.
That's alright. Because the left arm's a male arm.
I don't even know what a Slanesh is.
You're gonna find out in the
Chaos
most
God.
shocking way possible.
Oh no.
There's a primer for Slanesh right there to give you an idea of what that sphere of influence is.
Yeah. There was a meme I saw of or a cartoon, mini cartoon, and it had this Imperial military base, just like regular military, and there's a guardsman at the gate, and one in a watchtower, and the one in the watchtower goes, I see humans approaching, and the guy in the gate goes, I'll open the gate, and he goes, no wait, hold on, no, I can see a lot of spikes and stuff like that, and he goes, I'm closing the gate, and he goes, yeah, it's definitely one of the Chaos Gods. He goes, I'm keeping this gate closed. He goes, I think it's Slanesh. And he goes, maybe I'll open it just a crack.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures now.
Oh,
Why didn't I play us one of those things?
Yeah, X is going to be cosplaying as one when he arrives.
Oh yeah.
Which means
It's kind of fun
all
playing a
three of you
completely
will be
ignorant
when you go
character
out
in
to
that
the
game.
movies.
Okay, should we get started?
Yeah,
Does anyone have
I'll
any
hit
questions
record.
before we go? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'll
Thank
just
you.
cut out the beginning or whatever if I need to.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions before we get started? Oh, I need to actually pull up my session notes. That would be a good place to start, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Since I'm playing, I didn't try to take 50 points and level up, and we'll just do that after session.
Yeah, that would have been slightly cheeky. But yeah, thank you. I didn't tell you not to, so thank you. Okay. Stuff here. Yeah, so I've kind of rearranged some stuff. I realized that what Isabeau was doing by getting people to investigate around the town had a chance of actually taking things in a direction I hadn't planned for. So that was good. I did a bit of planning between sessions and then kind of had to change the arrangements when you joined the session. So it's all been rearranged at the last minute. So it could go off
I
in
was
interesting
like
directions. That's
boo-hooing,
the fun
like,
of it.
oh, I don't get to play, and then Tet fell for it and let me take it.
So I'm just going to yeah, so I know what's going on, and I'll just take everything else by the seat of my pants. That's what could possibly go wrong. So yeah, we're going to start off with an interesting situation that I wasn't thinking of until last week, which is pretty cool. So it shows you guys are taking things in new directions. Right, I'll get things going then. Okay, let's put on some music. Okay, we'll get started.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna mute myself.
Way to ruin it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Blades and Blasters. I'm your GM Wanderer, and this is another session of our new campaign, Dragonlance: Knight's Frontier. We are up to session 6, and we'll have a catch up in a minute about what's going on. With me tonight, I have Ghost playing Baldwin, Zypher playing Aesh, Waterpeck playing the Minotaur Dalrend, and Slip playing Lady Isabeau of Blackstone. So we're going to start with a little intro. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With the death of Lord Alfric, a dark pall seems to hang over the Solamnic outpost of Norhold. The new commander, Alfric's nephew Geraint, is neither as well liked nor as well trusted as his late uncle. Geraint has not yet addressed the outpost and instead spends much of his time in discussion with the austere sorcerer Calinius, who is even less well liked than Geraint himself. The one blessing seems to be that Geraint isn't in the dark mood many expected. Particularly some have noted when the fair Lady Isabeau of Blackstone is around. The night after Lord Alfric's funeral, the Monitor Dalrend is sound asleep in his room at the White Hart Inn when he hears a tapping noise at the window. So I'm going to take us over to here. Okay, can you guys see?
Yep.
Okay. So you're wakened from your sleep, Dalrend, by this tap, 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 tap on the window.
Dalrend, sleeping soundly, snoring most likely, kind of hears this sound, his ears perk up, and he kind of jolts up. He had been restraining himself from the drink, so he was not in a deep slumber. He goes over to the window and peers out, looking to see what he believes to be Darius.
That's right. Yes, you see Darius there
outside the window, tapping on the window pane. And there's you can open the window from inside.
Yeah, Dalrend will open it up. What are you doing, friend?
And he looks and he says, "By the gods, you sleep soundly."
Have you been tapping longly?
He says, "Too long." He says, "Quick, I need your help. Get Aesh, and I trust you too, and I need 2 people to carry someone."
Carry someone? Okay.
I'll explain on the way.
You got it. I'll be there in a minute. And with that, he kind of closes the window, and he can't be really stealthy or sneaky as he's a giant minotaur, and kind of goes down to Ayesh's room and goes to open the door, assuming it's unlocked.
Yeah, it would be unlocked in case someone comes calling in the night.
He does have a gentleman caller in late in the evening, but not for what he was probably leaving the door unlocked for. And he goes up and kind of thinks for a moment, realizing that this would probably be quite shocking to someone, and puts a hand over Ayesh's mouth and kind of shakes him awake with his other hand. And he's just like,
Ash's eyes, fly open, and he looks at Dalrend, and he hears, and then Dalrend can kind of, underneath his fingers, kind of feel the lips move, and you can see now Ash is like smiling at you. Not quite sure what's going to happen, but
yeah. He looks and goes very quietly, he's like, "Get your stuff. Come with me outside. Be quiet and tell no one."
oh, yes. And Ash kind of, throws his cover over, and he's sleeping completely in the nude. It'll take me a minute, but I'll be out shortly. He kind of gets up, scratches his butt, and starts putting his pantaloons on, his tunic on. Would I need my flute? Would a song be required of me?
No. What? It's late. Why would I don't need music. Just quiet. Quiet.
Okay. So I guess there's going to be no fun after this. Kind of, Ash follows you out, grumbling to himself. This place is no fun. I haven't been laid in days.
Dalrend, he just sees like the back of his head. He shakes it as he's just choosing not to answer or comment on poor Ash and only having to wait a few days. But he leads him outside of the White Hart and goes around the corner, presumably into a dark alley, expecting to find Darius somewhere skulking in the shadows.
And that's exactly where you find him. He's looking quite impatient, and he says, Quick, I need your help to carry her. And he starts sneaking off. He's a lot more stealthy than you, Dalrend. I don't know about Aesh. Is Aesh quite stealthy when he wants to be or not?
Yeah, I think, if he is... his stealth is not so much in trying to like sneak upon people, but more so about sneaking things past people and
right.
Maybe using that to like win a hand of cards or stuff like that. But he tries to be as quiet as possible behind Dalren's imposing figure.
Okay. And Darius whispers back to you both, watch the shadows. There's murder afoot tonight. And he leads you a few houses over to a kind of a gap between two houses. It's not an alleyway exactly, but it's kind of like one, and very dark. And then you become aware that there is someone lying on the ground in the shadows. And Darius leads you over and says, "We need to pick her up and get her to the infirmary, but don't touch her face. It's the same thing as Lord Alfric." And you can see it's the young knight, Eleonora. She seems to have the plague, and she's in a very bad way. Her breath is coming in gasps. She seems barely conscious. In fact, no, she seems unconscious. Breath coming in gasps. She's got lesions and pustules on her face. She's not wearing armor. She's just wearing a light jerkin, and has a sword with her, but it hasn't been drawn.
When was the last time we saw Eleonora?
You saw her. This is the night after Lord Alfric's funeral. You last saw her kind of during the day. She was about. That's when you two last saw her. Isabeau has seen her more recently, but you wouldn't necessarily know that.
Dalrend kind of stops. When he said murder, he was expecting Darius to be the one committing the act, but kind of confused as he sees Eleonora covered in the plague, and he kind of looks to the two. He goes, "They said that this plague had moved on, burned out. This is the second one in just a few days."
Yeah, I don't like it, said Darius, but I think this was done to her. She was fine, and someone did this. It happened in a moment. There were two figures. I want to try and track them down. One of them was wearing a black cloak, hooded. That's the one that did this. The other one's the one I saw before, pure darkness. Just like the night sky in human form. Eleonora tried to get closer to her. I tried to tell her not to, but they spotted her. One of them made a gesture in her direction like they were blowing a kiss. And I think that's when it happened. She told me before she lost consciousness that they were talking, they were arguing. She said seemed like they knew each other, but they were arguing. But that's all she managed before she lost consciousness.
So this seems to be black magic and not a plague. Do we know where they went? I'll take her to the infirmary, but do we have any idea where they went to?
They both vanished. Magic.
Of course.
I'm going to try and follow them if there's any tracks. That's why I need you to take her to the infirmary.
Good hunting then, and if you find them, don't go after them alone. Wait for us.
Darius gives you a familiar smile and says, I'm brave, but I'm not that brave." And he grins, and then he sneaks off into the darkness. So he's warned you not to, to be very careful about how you touch her. Would you like to? Well, what would you like to do? I'm just going to leave it open. What would you like to do?
Talvran kind of looks to Ayash. Is he wearing like, pants and a shirt, or like some sort of like, medieval nightgown equivalent?
And Ash looks at Dalrend and he's like, I'm already ahead of you. And he kind of takes his shirt off, which is kind of like a tunic, and hands it over to Dalrend. And he takes his pants off, and now he's just in his skivvies. And he takes it in his hand. I think if we can carry her with these clothes and then burn them, though I do hate seeing good clothes being burnt, I would hate even more to have these things on my face.
Agreed.
You see, it's a timeless classic, my face. Can't come to harm.
Yes, don't damage the goods. I understand. I think I can carry her over by myself if we can wrap her so she doesn't come in contact with me, and I'll burn this as well. He kind of points to the, simple tunic that he's wearing.
It's going to be easier to not come in contact with her if you carry her between you.
Well, he kind of looks.
Carry the weight if you want, but there'll just be a risk of you coming into contact with her.
Yeah, he'll look at maybe the two of them kind of doing some sort of carry.
Yep.
Yeah, you're taller, so if you take the shoulders and I take the legs, it's pretty much like you're kind of taking someone in a slanted position across the field.
Okay, where are you going to take her?
We'll take her right to the infirmary.
Okay. Let's go across to the infirmary. Things are quiet in the infirmary. It's night. There are no patients here at the moment. The only person sleeping here is Baldwin. He and Casa take it in turns. Would you guys like to describe the scene as you bring Eleonora in? What Baldwin will see? Because the scene to me is just bizarre.
So two nude individuals bring a unconscious woman into a infirmary. No, I'll let X describe himself, and then I'll describe me.
Yeah, so Aish is behind Dalrend, so Baldwin would see Dalrend first. But once Aish comes into view, Aish is clearly just in his skivvies. He's completely bare naked, and with the cold and chill in the night, now his nipples are also standing really, really hard, and he's shivering. But he's making sure that he doesn't come in contact with Eleonora's body, and he kind of looks down, and he's like, "Oh no," realizing that what the cold is doing to other extremities. But this is very important work. Eleonora can't, she should get some aid. He's trying his best to lift her body, but Ash is not very powerful. So it's almost like he's carrying and dragging her at the same time while Dalrend is doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, Dalrend's long shirt, fitted for him, is a little more volume when you're wrapping up a smaller woman, and he's carrying the torso, the upper half, and it's not as difficult for him, whereas Ash is clearly kind of struggling just with the legs, trying not to come in contact with them. And he kind of backs in, and he's, fortunately for all of those involved, has at least a loincloth on where he's taken off everything else. And he backs in and kind of, not roughly, but kicks the door open with his hoof, and backs in with Ash and turns, seeing it's just Baldwin. He goes, "Paladin, wake up. We have a problem." And he kind of like dumps Eleonora on an available bed.
Yeah, I think the door kick would have put Baldwin. He just comes up and he sees, and he gets up and off. He's just in basically what equates to a tunic pajamas type of thing. Grabs his mask and puts it on real quick. And what's the matter? What's going on? And he gets up and goes over to the.
Don't touch her. She has that plague similar to Lord Alfric, but I don't think it's actually the plague. I think this was sorcery or wizardry of some kind. And he kind of relays a brief story to Baldwin of what Darius, explained, that she was following two individuals and one did something towards her and then she instantly came down with this, pox.
I see. And he'll look her over, and he'll double take the Ayash. Ayash is completely naked. Is that what's happening here? Or?
Esh is naked, and then Dalrend is basically in a loincloth.
Yeah, he looks
naked.
Ayash, and he's just borrow a blanket, and he looks back to Eleanor and look her over, and just try to evaluate the condition as best that I can. How's she breathing? Is her breathing getting worse? Pulse, things like that. Just anything I can gain without touching her right now.
You can make a medicine check. Okay, 15. Yeah, this definitely looks like the same kind of thing Lord Alfric had. She's really very ill. She's dying. You can see her breathing is shallow and appears labored as well, as if it's starting to become a struggle to breathe. You don't think she's going to die in the next few minutes, but you don't think she'll live to see the morning.
Okay. Yeah, it's not even a question for him. He has gloves on even when he was sleeping. He takes one off, and all right, the two of you step back now, and if this does not work, go and find Mina, and well, Mishakal be with all of us, I suppose.
Looks like he's going to touch her with his bare hands, guys.
You're a fool. What are you doing?
Mishakal gave me a blessing that can undo disease. Potentially. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this, but I have to try. Otherwise, she won't see the morning.
Phew. I hope your god looks over you favorably then. And he kind of backs away, not knowing what to expect, and kind of pulls Esh back as well.
And I will lay on hands and attempt to cure disease with it.
Okay, so you're going to use what, 5 points?
I will. Ooh, here's something. No, I don't think I would be able to evaluate if I should use more or less. I'll use some and then see what effect that has. So I have, I think, 10.
Well,
I'm gonna use 5.
You know already that this is more than a disease, right? Because no disease strikes this fast.
Right.
And Rubrum noted there was a magical component to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to kind of give it everything,
yeah,
you can.
I'm dropping it. I'm dropping everything. I'm right now, entire pool of lay on hands to try to stop this.
Yeah, you. I'll let you describe it in a second, but I'll tell you the. No, you can describe how it looks, and then I'll describe the outcome.
So, Baldwin takes his bare hand, and you see his hand. It's pretty gnarly. It's very scarred and blackened, and not what you would expect. Not a healthy color of skin. And he places it on her forehead, bare skin, and you just see this light that traces through his hand and radiates over the crown of her head, and he just there. And it looks like he's exerting himself, but he's not even moving.
Okay, and light comes from his hand and kind of radiates a little bit as he touches her skin. And within a few seconds, her breathing becomes less ragged, less laboured. But she doesn't regain consciousness, and the pustules and the lesions on her skin remain. And in fact, as you watch, you think they are still getting worse. But her breathing has stabilized. Would you like to make another medicine check, Baldwin, to try and understand what's going on here?
Yes, I would.
Oh, very nice. Okay, then you actually can get some understanding. There's more than one aspect to what's been done to her. You can see that there's a dust covering her skin, and that's what it was. So you heard that it looked like someone blew her a kiss, and that could have been blowing dust in her face. But what it does is it has a kind of triple effect. It works like a disease, creating all those symptoms and making it. So it works like a disease, making it communicable between people. It works like a poison; it kills you fairly swiftly. And there's also a curse which kind of binds those things together, but also creates the kind of the physical effects and the kind of degeneration aspect of it. And you've cured the disease, so other people won't be able to catch it from her. You've cured the poison, so she won't die. But still, this curse is causing this progressive plague effect on her. At least the symptoms of plague. She's not going to die of it because it isn't truly plague, but these outward signs will continue getting worse.
So, as I understand it, it's not the disease nor the poison, but it is just a curse at this point.
Yes.
Okay. And it will continue to show as if she is getting worse, but it's just, do I know if it's going to be like a wasting curse, like something that I have, or do I have any insight on that? Or
you think it could cause, she won't end up looking quite like you, but she won't look a lot better.
But she will survive.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he sits down next to the bed that she's on, and he puts his hand against the forehead of his mask. This is terrible. This isn't good.
What could do such a thing?
It is a curse that is afflicting her. She won't spread it and she will survive, but this, he points at the pustules in the wall, this will remain as much a burden as anything else. It is some kind of magic, some kind of dark, magical binding. I'm not as educated on magic as perhaps Rubrum, but this is familiar to me. This is something not quite the same, but close enough. This is evil, for certain.
And Baldwin, could you make a Constitution save DC 14? You can see some of this powder on your own skin. Oh, before you do, hold on. I should mention one thing that I think you guys have been forgetting is you all start the session with inspiration, which means once a session you can get advantage on a roll, meaning you roll twice and take the highest number.
Sounds like a great time to use that.
I just figured that this might well be the time you choose to use it. And for you, Ghost, I'm using a variant rule. So because you're writing really good session summaries, I'm giving you an extra usage of that in sessions. So
Alright, well, I will use my first one for Constitution. Oh god. Oh fuck.
Oh.
Okay. Well. 12 it is.
Okay. Yeah. And you can feel now that your hand, you can feel a burning pain, and you see that where the although your flesh looks kind of shriveled and desiccated, there are kind of lesions opening up in it. You can just see it's like the skin is tearing in front of your eyes, and you just see it, and then you can also see a line of this just creeping up your arm. Was it your right arm or right hand or left hand?
Right. It was my right.
Okay.
Yeah. And he
Okay.
looks at his hand. And... Away from me. Away from me. I will go to the temple. Tell Mina what I have told you. And he looks at his hand. Away from me.
Casa.
Oh, sorry, damn it. Casa, I keep forgetting because of the dream. Tell Casa. It's away from me. And he's holding his hand and he's trying to keep away from them as he exits the house.
Yeah.
Can you two make perception checks to see whether you saw this? It's only DC 10 to see it. See exactly what's happening. You all saw him look at his hand and then send you away, but so yes, you didn't see precisely what was happening. Darren, you saw
God, I saw it perfectly.
Yeah, you saw it in all the excruciating detail. His flesh just seeming to tear open as he was watching.
Yeah, he like looks at his hands and kind of like wipes them on something, and he's like, "Don't touch anything. And we need to go get Casa. Look what it did to his hand. It ripped it open like it was paper."
Yeah, and I'm heading over to keep myself in the temple away from people. I'm gonna close the door behind me.
Yep.
Ash was just about to grab a blanket, and when he hears Dalrin say it, his head just slumps, and he turns around and, naked in the cold, starts walking out to go and find Casa.
Okay. Dalrend, what do you want to do?
Yeah, he will go get Casa as well. And then he'll probably escort her back to the infirmary, and then once she's there, he kind of sprint back to the White Hart.
Okay. Okay, so you guys, I think we'll go over to the White Hart. So you do find Casa. She's at a house she's sort of taken over near the temple. And when she hears about Baldwin, she goes running to the temple. And then we'll cover. Are you going to wake Isabel? Is that why you went back to the White Hart?
Yeah, yeah, because she's been made commander, hasn't she?
Of the auxiliaries,
yes, the auxiliary, yeah.
So yeah, do you want to describe what
happens? He goes back to the White Hart, and he finds himself periodically, even though he didn't touch anything and nothing happens to him, he's kind of like grossed out. So when he gets up and like wipes his hands off in the dirt and then smacks them clean, and he washes it off in a bucket and then kicks the bucket over, and he goes into the room and goes up to Isabeau, and he's like, I'm going to assume the door is locked. If it isn't, he's just like barging right in.
Yeah, I don't think she would necessarily lock it.
Although Ash is sleeping in the same place.
Yeah.
So
well, she's pretty sure she can take him.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, he just kind of like barges in, and it's like this kind of looming shadow of a, mostly nude, still in a loincloth minotaur, like, Lady Isabeau, wake up.
Yeah, she startles awake and reaches for the sword at her bedside, sitting up, and grabbing the sword kind of in one instinctive motion. Looking up at what I would expect, there's light coming from the hallway, and Dalrand is just this enormous hulking shadow, with the light coming from behind him, and being kind of startled and confused. She raises the sword kind of in front of her and then starts to come to herself. Dalrand, what's the meaning of this? Why are you in my room?
You need to dress and come quickly. Darius discovered something concerning Eleonora. She's been cursed, I guess you could say, with the same plague that killed Lord Alfric.
Eleonora? Oh no. She kind of drops the sword onto the ground for a moment. This is all my fault. Fine, yes. I'm coming. Please, wait outside for just a moment.
Yes.
And she, gets out of bed, pulls on, clothes without bothering to button everything. Maybe just throws the chainmail shirt over her head, grabs her sword and puts it in a sheath, over her shoulder, and heads out as quickly as possible.
You're just leaving the inn when you hear Casa yell, almost scream, "Baldwin, no!" And we'll go across to the temple. Okay. Okay. Inside the temple, So let's go across to here. Okay. We see... wait. What are we doing here? Okay. We see Baldwin. He is... Would you describe the thing you just mentioned to me, Ghost? Because you mentioned what his intention was, and he's not going to quite get to carry it through, so I just want you to cover it.
Yeah, so what the scene would be was Baldwin in the temple, praying for a moment, a few moments looking at his arm, and then making a decision to stop the spread. And he takes a knife that he had on his person and begins to line up where the corruption is on his arm, which is getting to about at his elbow. And he's about to start cutting his own arm off as best as he can.
It's at that moment that Kasich begins banging on the door. And you could have sworn that you barred that door. But she bangs and it seems solid, but then she enters. And you're like, what? The bar's not on the door. You could have sworn you put that bar down. And immediately she just yells out, "Baldwin, no!" The scream that everyone heard. And she comes running over and starts grappling with you with the knife. Her hands are gloved, so she's not at risk, but she's struggling with you. She's a Kenda. She's quite a lot smaller than you. She's not as strong as you, so she's kind of struggling with you.
It will spread and it will corrupt. I must remove it.
And she said that we can do something. We can do something. And presumably the others hearing this have come running, have they?
Oh, for certain.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys enter at this moment. So I will put you guys on here. So what do you do as you come in and you see this scene? Baldwin's there. He's got a knife right by his arm. You can see his intent. and Cassa's trying to stop him.
What are you doing? This is madness.
I'm trying to see what. Isabeau's still groggy. She doesn't understand what's going on.
If I don't remove it, it will continue to spread. I will be the one who carries it.
Are you sure?
What?
I believe so. Look at it. It's traveling up my arm. If I cut it off now, I can stop the spread.
Woman, what are you trying to do to Baldwin?
No, he has the plague. He tried to heal Eleonora, and it transferred to him. I saw it with my own eyes.
If I move the arm and burn it, we can still preserve this. We can still stop it from spreading.
Wait. Isabeau runs forward and she kind of pulls on her greaves, mailed gloves, and, kind of grabs his arm that is holding the blade in one hand. She is a cleric, is she not?
I was a paladin. Am a paladin, and it still spread to me. I should have been immune. This is far more powerful than what we know.
This is magic. But still, have some faith, Baldwin. Looks at Cassa. Can you help him? Or is he correct? I will do the job if it needs to be done.
Baldwin, you can make either an intelligence check or a medicine check, your choice.
That will be medicine.
Ooh. Okay. Now, there were 3 aspects to this. There's the poison that kills, the disease that spreads, and the curse that marks and debilitates. So, you should be immune to one of those, which means that the poison will still kill you. You can still you can still have the physical effects from the curse, but you shouldn't communicate it to others.
And the curses are going to make me look much worse.
Yeah, a bit, but it's
That's not neither here nor there. The poison will kill me, though.
Yes.
Right. So
that's what's creeping up your arm.
There's a poison. If there's any way to cure it, then I'm willing to have that done. But don't touch this arm. Whatever you do, there's still the curse that binds things. Can you cure poison, Cassa?
Let me just check something. Give me a second. Oops. It helps if I don't. So, I'm just trying to think what level lesser restoration is. Give me just a second. I'm having trouble with my tabs. Pump in. There we go. Lesser restoration.
Second level.
Okay, I'm just checking here. Sorry, it is second level. No, she cannot. Now hold on. Let me just check something else. Give me just a second. Now, lay on hands cures poison as well, doesn't it?
Let me take a look.
I believe it can cure disease and poison.
Yes, so you can spend 5 points from your pool of healing to cure one disease and neutralize 1 poison.
So Cassa's looking on helplessly and says, "No, I could heal wounds, but this, no, I'm not strong enough. My powers are days old. She looks frustrated.
It comes.
Isabeau says, "Then I will try." Does it need to be bare hands?
It does, yes.
Okay. Well, she
Don't
without
touch him, you
hesitation,
fool!
removes one hand from a greave and puts it on his forehead, and kind of half kneels on the ground, and she says, Kirith Jolie, hear me. This brave man. We need him. We need him strong and whole. And she just closes her eyes and ears to all the sounds and input that coming from all around the room and focuses on, feeling the divine power of her god.
And you guys see something similar to what you saw before when Baldwin did this. I don't think any of you knew that Isabeau could do something like this, but a glow comes from her hand onto his unmarked arm, and you see it sort of dissipate in his flesh. And then moments later, the visible kind of corruption spreading up his right arm seems to fade, and his arm returns almost to normal. But then you realize that no, there are still these lesions creeping up his skin. And as you watch, a pustule slowly forms on his upper arm, looking sore and hideous.
Baldwin will push Isabeau away at that point, and he's surprised that she was able. He did not know that she had that power, but he looks at his arm. The curse remains, but I believe the poison is gone. No one must touch me, and he tries to cover his arm again.
The pain that was creeping up your arm and the numbness is dissipating. You feel kind of okay in yourself, but this kind of disfigurement of your arm is definitely spreading.
Isabeau kind of stands back, gasping for a moment, pulls her greave back on, looks at the others. Eleonora, how is she?
Stable is an ugly word to use. She was on the verge of death when the paladin here, when Baldwin laid his hands upon her, it seemed to stabilize her, but she looks like it could go either way.
She will live, Baldwin.
She is no spy. I should have known better. I spoke of this to no one, but I had asked her to keep an eye on that sorcerer who keeps whispering in Grant's ear. He must be the source of this. He must have caught her.
She was going after someone. Two people, it seemed one were arguing. One almost looked like, kind of Dalren looks like he's having trouble. Described almost like a wraith, like a shadow made form. And one of them blew a kiss to Eleonora, and she promptly came down with this affliction. Darius is trying to find out where they went to.
She turns around for a second, frustrated, thinking,